Hi friends, catch me posting 2 episodes and our annual recap episode. I think it turned out pretty good, so please check out the recap episode on YouTube, and if you want to know my thoughts on The Beekeeper, you can listen to that episode now on YouTube and the podcast. Now look, it's the first movie review of the year, and man, how I wish we started this year with a bang. Well, okay, that's not fair. I can't say that I didn't personally, because if you've been here for a bit, then you might know that I'm rewatching the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and that's actually been a lot of fun. I wasn't a fan, but honestly, I saw the movies when I was a lot younger, so I'm glad I've been rewatching them. Sorry, I just got distracted because I just want to rant about the Lord of the Rings. Hi friends, welcome back, or just welcome if you're new here. I'm here as a friend to give you my spoiler-free thoughts on the latest movie I've watched in theaters or at home. If you're looking for my thoughts on a specific movie, DM me on Instagram, let me know on the podcast, or in the comments section on YouTube. Tune in for new episodes every Friday, and don't forget to follow the podcast, subscribe on YouTube, and follow on Instagram. All the things everywhere so you don't miss out on what I'm watching and what we're going to be talking about. You know that feeling when you have no expectations for a movie, you just want it to be good, you want to have fun, and maybe get scared a little bit, but somehow in the end you're left feeling kind of Let's get into today's episode on Night Swim. Forced into early retirement by a degenerative illness, former baseball player Rey Waller moves into a new house with his wife and 2 children. He hopes that the backyard swimming pool will be fun for the kids and provide physical therapy for himself. However, a dark secret from the home's past soon unleashes a malevolent force that drags the family into the depths of inescapable terror. Right off the bat, I want to say that I saw one trailer for this movie, and if you've caught the last few episodes, then you'll know I was avoiding everything else after that. Studios put way too much in the trailers, and to be fair, I feel like I caught the vibe of the movie from that one trailer, Haunted Pool. It's different, and I'm always open to check out a horror flick. So we've got Rey, baseball is my entire personality, Waller, who is living with MS, multiple sclerosis, which very briefly is a chronic disease of the central nervous system. He cannot baseball, which is basically the worst thing for Baseball Is My Life, Father of the Year, Rey. Now, maybe some food for thought here, but I just want to say that I truly tried to look at his character from the angle where he spent his life to get into this career. This was everything to him. I tried to consider that it was such a large part of his life that was suddenly taken away, and how that might impact someone emotionally, physically, and psychologically. However, this willingness to understand waned the longer the movie went on. I went off on a tangent, but Rey, his wife, and their 2 children move into a new house with a pool, and that's going to help with his physical therapy. Great, but the pool unleashes a force upon the family. I really like the concept, and I think the movie is pretty creative. That's what I'm trying to say. There's a lot of potential here, but I really feel like they had me in the first half. Before I get into how I really feel, let's talk about how I really feel. I love some of the shots in this movie. I think only a few really stood out, and some of the ones that I really enjoyed were the ones in the pool, those wide underwater shots that really had you engulfed with the depth and isolation. These moments were a surprisingly visual treat. Now, I don't want to talk about Wyatt Russell, but here we are talking about Wyatt Russell. I Am Baseball Rey Waller is a round baseball dimensional character, and I was tired of him. Here's the thing, Russell actually played the role very well. I honestly think I might have beef with him because of his role as John Walker, US agent in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier show. Back to what Russell did in the movie, because he did something. I think he did a great job in the second half of the movie, but to be honest, I didn't feel the chemistry between him and the rest of the cast. I didn't get the familial connection from him, and because of that, his performance in the first half of the movie was a little flat. Speaking of chemistry, let's talk about Mother of the Year Eve Waller. Carrie Condon did a great job. Now, I was going to say I haven't seen her in anything. Okay, well, technically that's true. She's been Friday for years in the MCU. which I thought was interesting. Getting back on track, getting back to that chemistry. I really love the connection she had with the son and daughter, who both did a really good job. Carrie had a lot of opportunities to show different emotions and to show how her character was navigating the situation, and I think she did fine. You know who did amazing? Jodie Long. What an awesome scene. It's the acting coupled with the context that really highlights her performance in this movie. All right, so what did I think about the movie? Is it worth watching? Let's just put it all out there. If it's not obvious yet by how short I'm sure this episode is at this point, this movie wasn't great. The first half had me, I will say that. Some of the jump scares got me. I was a little freaked out. The suspense was there, and it was creepy, even more so if you're observant of the background. And I was invested. I was really invested in trying to figure out what was going on while whispering a few guesses back and forth to my sister in the theater. It was at the point in the movie when things started to get revealed that I can feel myself deflate. And then when everything was explained, that was it. I had actually lost interest entirely, and the movie didn't end up going in the direction I thought it should to make an interesting ending, in my opinion. Now, I know I kind of picked at the explanation and how it kind of knocked the wind out of my sails, but I will admit, that scene where all the pieces started to fall into place and the realization hit, it was extremely well done. I think this is one of few high points of this movie. I love the acting in this scene. I love the impact it has on the characters, the story, and the audience, or at least just me sitting in the theater absolutely shook. You know when you know something is gonna happen, but then you actually see it on screen, the performance and the music and the story kind of all coming together. Oh, I was surprised. I'm not sure how many people listening or watching are interested in the production companies and directors, but I'm kind of getting more into that myself. So I want to share a TikTok that I'm going to link below. I saw it recently, and the creator at Black Box Horror is explaining that James Wan's company Atomic Monster and Blumhouse have merged, and evidently this is the first movie that they've released together. She goes on to say that if these two studios are going to drop a movie when they finalize a merge, they should make sure it's a banger, but it wasn't. I didn't realize that this was the case when I watched the movie, but knowing that now, I completely agree. Have you seen Night Swim yet? If you saw the movie, what did you think about it? This movie had a lot of potential. Is it a horrible movie? No, I strongly believe there is something for everyone. Plus, I have seen worse. The reviews I've seen online overall are negative, but I've seen some good ones. I think this is worth watching, or you might like it if you're trying to get your feet wet when it comes to horror movies. Are there better entry-level horror movies? Absolutely, but if you're interested, this one might be for you. I really just wish Rey Waller was a better written character, or maybe I just wish Wyatt Russell was more open in his performance. Maybe I just couldn't connect with the character because I am not baseball. All right, baseballs, that brings us to the end of the episode. If you're listening on the podcast, thank you very much. Check out the description below for a link to the podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, please consider leaving the video a thumbs up. As always, thank you so much for hanging out with me and for catching today's episode. You can listen to new episodes every Friday. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube, follow on Spotify, follow me on Instagram, all the things, so you don't miss out on the next movie we're going to be talking about. I saw an early access screening for The Beekeeper. Y'all know how I feel about former professional diver Jason Statham, so I had to get tickets for that one. I dropped the episode today, so you can hear me reminisce about how I admitted to my honey when we walked out of the auditorium that I hadn't actually seen a trailer for the movie, and I assumed he had some form of bee powers. Yeah, I didn't think that through. Honestly, I've been busy and I am very tired, okay? Next up, Mean Girls. I think this is going to be an amazing movie. I'm looking forward to returning to a familiar story and to see how that musical element ties in. I recently got tickets to see Argyle. There is so much to be excited for. Dula Peep, the music, the stylish action, John Cena. Oh, I love John Cena. He's supposed to be in the movie, but I didn't see him anywhere in the trailer. Anyway, I'm also looking forward to the cat definitely being the real Agent Argyle. On a side note, I do want to let you guys know that there is a very high chance that this episode will have to be pushed out because unfortunately I have to be an adult for the first week of February. So please check out my Instagram and or the community tab on YouTube for updates on that episode. Moving on to the podcast exclusive episodes because I don't want you to think I forgot about them. We've got Rebel Moon and Leave the World Behind. I don't have movie tickets for anything after Mean Girls until Argyle. So keep a lookout for those episodes on the pod. So I hope you'll join me on YouTube and the podcast, especially for those exclusive episodes. I would love to hear from you guys, so please let me know your thoughts on today's episode or just your thoughts on the movie that we talked about today in the comment section on YouTube or on Spotify. I've got the Q&A, I've got the poll, so check it out. I want to know what you think, so let me know wherever you are listening or on Instagram at A.Rocket.Review, and I'll talk to you next week. But until the next episode, spread positivity, be safe, take care of yourself. Do not make baseball your entire personality. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.